Good morning.
All right. Welcome to a special episode of Pinpoint. And it's the biggest discussion in town. And Pinpoint around 7 to 8. But we have 10 to 10:30 this morning. So we're starting behind schedule. But here we go. It is the problem in southern Kaduna. And just to let you know, which is the beginning of setting the tone for the discussions on 99.3 Nigeria Info for the rest of the week, where we will look at what has happened in southern Kaduna, where a recent wave of deadly attacks has brought an ending cycle of communal violence and impunity in the same state back into focus. Media's reported gunmen killed at least 43 people between July 21 to 24. But then the numbers are huge. Conservative estimates to say nearly 200 people have been killed in the last 7 months across several southern Kaduna communities. And fortunately, the police have not been able to comment on the identity of the perpetrators yet. There have been mixed messages from state actors on exactly what is going on. And so we will look at a number of angles. I know time is pretty short for us to look at this, but we'll try as much as possible to give some sense to what is going on. I have two guests here. One you're very familiar with, Reno Omokri. Reno Omokri is the former spokesperson to former President Goodluck Jonathan. He's now into a multimedia project called Build Up Nigeria. He's done a number of short films in the United States. Reno writes articles for newspapers as well as political op-ed, as well as Christian material. And then there's Mr. Gidi. Mr. Gidi is an artist. His wife is from southern Kaduna, and he's done a song to look at what is going on in southern Kaduna. Of course, for us to remember those who have been, unfortunately, targeted in this killing, this orgy of violence. Great to have you join us this morning on 99.3 Nigeria Info. Reno Omokri. Reno, are you there?
Can you hear me clearly?
All right, we can hear you now, Reno.
Okay, so I do apologize to your listeners. I flew in from America and I've been suffering from jet lag, and so I guess that was why I was a few minutes late. I apologize.
Excellent. And by the way, you can follow what is going on Facebook. We're streaming this live on our station handle on Nigeria Info on Facebook live. If you got comments, you can also put in there. Mr. Gidi, good morning. Great to join for you to join us on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Yeah, good morning.
Excellent. So we'll come to you, Mr. Gidi, later on, just for you to help us understand this song you've done also too for Southern Kaduna victims and the entire thing. But Reno, you're outside the country, and it's also interesting for us to hear your viewpoint first and foremost on what you make of the killings, unfortunately, that have happened in Southern Kaduna, and is generating lots of comment in the country right now.
Oh yeah, I did an interview with a British magazine. I think it was yesterday. It was published, and this issue is also on CNN. And I'm trying to arrange the world media to cover it because the Nigerian government, specifically the Kaduna State government, has been trying to put a blanket on what's happening so the outside world doesn't know about it. But let me just correct you. The song you're going to play, it's co-written by me, so it's written by official assembly and co-written by me. And I do perform on the song. So you see, with what's happening in Southern Kaduna, I mean, you could almost predict that it was going to happen because before the current governor was elected, he made some comments which were like threats against the Christian community. If you recall, on the 15th of July 2012, he made a promise. I'm going to read that promise out loud to your viewers. He said, "This is nothing else. We will write this for all to read. Anyone, soldier or not, that kills the Fulani takes a loan repayable one day, no matter how long it takes." Now, he wrote this while he was not governor, and you can see that this was a threat. It was a threat, and right now we have to understand that this this man is he's fulfilling the threat that he made. In fact, it's not just that he made several
sorry to interrupt you. Sorry
he
to
accused Christians of being behind. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you, Reno. We'll come, but we need you to enable your video because we can only get your audio, but we can't see you.
Okay, give me a second. I thought I enabled my video. Okay, hold on a second. Video. I can see you.
Okay.
And then the other fellow can see me.
Okay. Okay. Let's just go ahead. Maybe it's the network.
Hold on. Let me see. It might be the network because I can see you clearly.
Oh, okay. Let's just continue. I guess.
Okay. Well, I mean, he had actually accused Christians of being behind the Boko Haram. He did that on a tweet. He also did that when he spoke in Parliament in the United Kingdom in 2014. And he also said that in several mistakes. And he gave an interview. That's the current government, he gave an interview on Channels Television, of which I can present the interview to you. And he was asked what he was doing to stop Kaduna.
Right.
And he said that he had paid monies to the headsmen not to kill anymore, killing, and then the government, the constituted authority, rather than arrest them and then try them and charge them to court, is actually giving them money. It doesn't make sense at all. And we see that this man, I'm going to read the quote that he made in Punch newspapers. He said, even if Pope is my running mate, Christians won't vote for me. So you can see that this man already has a bias against Christians. So it's no coincidence he became in 2015, and soon after he became governor. Called the killings of Igbos. Sweet. The mass killings of Igbos in the north. I'm quoting him. I'm not misquoting him. He took down the tweet, but we actually got a screenshot of the tweet. He called it sweet. Another of his son, said a very, very derogatory word about Igbo women. So you can see that this entire family, they have this mindset. And as long as we have leaders who are biased like this, we can't have a solution to the situation.
All right, Reno, we're going to have to reconnect you because the quality of the connection is really poor. So we can have your input. It's Pinpoint special edition. We're speaking with Reno Omokri and Mr. Gidi on Southern Kaduna killings. Interestingly, Reno and Mr. Gidi collaborated on a song to highlight the killings that have happened in Southern Kaduna, and unfortunately, the loss of lives running into hundreds, unfortunately. And yet we still haven't gotten to the bottom of it, even up till Thursday, Friday. There were still attacks on a number of Southern Kaduna communities. We're streaming this live, and Reno Omokri will rejoin us. Hopefully, we can get a better connection. But Mr. Gidi, you're here with us, and I'm sure that a lot going through your mind. I understand your wife is from Southern Kaduna.
Yes, she's from there.
So what are the things you've heard that have inspired you to work with Reno in this music, this song rather, for the victims of the killings in Southern Kaduna?
So seriously, it's so sad to always be hearing that they're killing people in Southern Kaduna. It pains me a lot because Kaduna has many regions, right?
Right.
And it's not only Southern Kaduna. But I'm not saying that the killing should go on other regions should experience the same thing. But
right.
Why Southern Kaduna? That's the question. I don't understand why Southern Kaduna. And always any killings in Kaduna, Southern Kaduna. Okay, now I have just two questions I need the authority in Kaduna to answer me.
Excellent.
Why are they so powerless that they won't be able to track these headmen and punish them? Or are the headsmen under or do they have impunity or what? Why are they killing people and they will kill people, burn houses, kill children and go scot-free?
Big
no
question.
Security there. What is the governor doing there? Is he just there as a governor? So sad. It pains me a lot. And in fact, that's where the inspiration came from.
Well,
This song together,
yeah, so
especially from Reno.
right. So you have family through your in-laws, through your wife in living in there. And what are the sort of stories you've had following these attacks that have happened in the many communities in southern Kaduna?
In fact, like day before yesterday, I think day before yesterday, my in-law called us in the night. In the night, that herdsmen attacked a village there, but I can't remember the name of the village at the moment. Attacked the village there. In fact, they're not even in their houses. That particular time she called. They were in the bush, so were hiding. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yes.
So he called you from hiding.
Yes, in the bush. Imagine a woman with 3 kids in the bush in the night. So sad. So sad.
We're trying to reconnect with Reno Omokri. Hope we can fix the connection, and it's a lot clearer. Back, Mr. Gidi and Reno Omokri speaking on the Southern Kaduna crisis, like I highlighted earlier on this, the first of many discussions we're going to be having on 99.3 Nigeria Info, looking into the killings in Southern Kaduna, and let's see how it goes. Yeah. Let's see how it goes. Okay. So Mr. Gidi, tell us some more. Your experiences in Southern Kaduna. When you've been there, what exactly was it before and now? I know it's been a place for many years that has been experiencing the violence and all of that. I remember the incidents that played out in Kafanchan in the 80s. I was telling someone also too, a number of people who experienced a lot of difficulties, lost businesses, lost their source of livelihood in the early 2000s during the Sharia riots. In fact, they had two riots that happened in southern Kaduna over the implementation of Sharia then. I remember very well that was in 2002. Sometime in 2012, there were also riots that happened there. So it's reoccurring like a never-ending story, of course, which prompts the question, what the actors are doing to prevent this from happening. Right.
Seriously, I don't live there. I only go there like 2 days and come back, because I don't stay there at all. I met my wife here in Abuja, so it's so sad because I remember, I think 2000 and I can't recall the year actually, but what happened? It happened at Maraban Reading, exactly where my in-law is. In fact, they killed people at Maraban Reading. In fact, when I went there to visit them, I was able to go around and check to see the houses that they have demolished, these kind of things, demolish houses, kill people. I was so sad. I went there. But I didn't go to the villages because I don't go there to do anything there. Right? But in Maraban Reading, it was so sad. When I was going around to see what happened, they showed me everything that took place, what happened, how they demolished, they killed children. But I can't even begin to say all this now, man, because it pains me a lot. In fact, as I'm talking to you right now, it's like tears. It's sad, man.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, and we must make sure we keep talking about this so that it doesn't become a state of normal, where people think that lives can be lost in this sort of way, and yet no action from those who are there. Which is what we're trying to do with the chronicling of the Southern Kaduna crisis, speaking with Reno Omokri, who is a public affairs analyst, also an activist. I know he does some work in the Freely Shiribu movement, as well as being a former spokesperson to a former president. So those of you wondering why this has remained this way, a number of factors we're looking at. Reno did mention one, the mixed messages we're getting from government. The state government at some point attributing the attacks to bandits, and then at some point it did show that it was no longer bandits, that they were militias operating in some communities. Whether the militias were operating on ethnic bias is something that is still being argued. Kaduna straddles the nation's ethnic and religious divide. The population is largely divided between the Muslim and Hausa Fulanis, and then the southern part of Kaduna is predominantly Christian. We've got about 30 ethnic groups there. Relations between both of them have been tense. Because of the violence that have played out in previous years, have never really been attended to. So, what we are going to do, Mr. Gidi, is we'll take a quick break, and then let's see if we can rejoin with Reno Omokri.
All right.
All right. So, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back, and please just stay with us. All right. We got Reno Omokri back. Hello, Reno.
Hello. What happened?
Well, apparently the technology didn't allow us have Mr. Gidi and you at the same time to work at the same speed. But we did get a lot from him also too. So you help us fill us on the Mr. Gidi part because he cannot rejoin us on Skype. But a great point Mr. Gidi asked, a question he asked, which I think part of what you were responding to on the El Rufai thing, help us give us some clarity. People say that the responsibility in ending this violence in Kaduna falls squarely on the hands of those who have been elected, that they are falling short. Why is it difficult, you think, to help for people, not just with these ones that have happened now? He traces it back to what has happened in Kafanchan in the 80s, Zango Kataf in early 90s, and, early 2000, where the violence also happened in southern Kaduna. Why does it appear political actors are lame to put an end to this urge of violence that keeps reoccurring in southern Kaduna?
Well, I said it before. I'll give you an example. Before Nasir El-Rufai became the governor, they had a governor in Kaduna by name Yamalan Nehru. And we didn't have this crisis under him. Now, why is it that we have this crisis under Nasir El-Rufai? And not just that we have this crisis, I mean, with this quantum of killings, it's because, and I said it before, Nasir El-Rufai made promises. He made promises, and I read the promises out to your followers. And I mean, if you want me to read it again, I'll read it again. He had made promises that he was going to revenge the killings of the Fulanis. Now, you recall, under former President Jonathan, headsmen were killing people in Plateau State. If you remember, you had the Dogo Nahawa, where you had about 580 people were killed. And then there were some also killings in other parts of Plateau State. And then the then president sent the Nigerian army there to try to put an end to those killings. Now, on the day the Nigerian army went there, Nasir El-Rufai had made a promise. He said, "We will write this for all to read. anyone, soldier or not, that kills the Fulani, takes a loan, repayable one day, no matter how long it takes. Now, that's a promise that he made, a vow. Now, that loan is being repaid today. And you can see even his comments subsequently have shown his bias against Christians. For example, he accused Christians of being behind Boko Haram. Now, you and I know that that's ridiculous. But he said it when he gave testimony at Particularly House in Parliament. He also tweeted about it. Now, this was a man during his campaign, and I said it before, but I'm going to read it again. I'm quoting him. During his campaign, he said, even if the Pope is my running mate, Christians won't vote for me. So he has already shown bias, animosity.
So right. So Reno, you think his recent actions, for example, put the curfew imposed on 4 local government areas, the number of state broadcast. I know the military also were deployed in certain parts of southern Kaduna. You think that's not enough to change the mindset of people over these long years of feelings of intimidation? Because this thing you say, when I speak to many leaders in southern Kaduna, they talk about this marginalization, years of harassment, intimidation, and all of that. You think even if Nasser Rufai tries to correct some of these wrongs by certain actions he's taking now, it won't change the minds of people in southern Kaduna?
Well, listen, look, I did it fast, and you're aware of that. I did it fast. I'm a #1 best-selling author because of facts. My book is titled Facts versus Fiction. Nasir El-Rufai has sent soldiers there. Now, these soldiers that have been sent to southern Kaduna, how many headsmen have they arrested? Not one. How many headsmen have they tried, charged, imprisoned? Not one. What happened? They declared a curfew. Now, the southern Kaduna Christians are caught up in the curfew. How come the headsmen are able to go from town to town, attacking, burning, and killing? Now, you think about it. If there's really a curfew, how come? Where are they getting the arms from? As I speak to you today, and one of their representatives was on TV, the people who are in prison, who are in police cells, are the southern Kaduna people. The people who are being killed. I mean, yesterday, I had to make a donation of ₦500,000 naira to these people. It's not because I'm made out of money, but just because I saw the killings. I saw there are people right now in southern Kaduna who are sleeping out in the open. Snakes are biting them, mosquitoes are biting them. These are children. They are starving, they have no food. What is the government doing? And then we have this man who has been making these provocative comments, showing his bias against Muslims. Against Christians. So sending soldiers there, I mean, it doesn't make any sense except the soldiers are arresting the aggressors.
And this is a big conversation we will have over and over again about how to end the violence happening now, which is paramount. Whether the Christians or Muslims or anyone who's been killed, every life is important, unfortunately, and people have been killed. When we take one action now, hoping that this short-term action, and it's not just with this El-Rufai's government. I found it happen. They sent in the military to Zango Kataf. They sent in the military in the 90s. They sent in the military in 2000 during the Sharia riots. They sort of forget about the future. I remember the 2014 confab. One of the highlights of this, the Kaduna, Southern Kaduna situation was that they be given a state to resolve it.
Well, see, the thing about the Southern Kaduna conflict is this. We're talking about the leadership. No, you keep going to Kafanshan and Zango Kataf. Kafanshan and Zango Kataf, that was in 1989. From 1989 up until 2000, you didn't have this crisis. What happened in 2000 was not this crisis. You're mixing things up. What happened in 2000 was because in Zamfara State, Sani Yariman had declared Sharia. And so the Sharia was spreading all over northern Nigeria. And then in the Kwajadafa axis, which starts from Zulu in Kebbi State all the way to Adamawa State, there was fear among the Christian minorities in the north. That was a completely different issue. Now, after 2000, you had governors. You had a Christian governor, if you recall,
right?
And then you had Ramalan Yero. So you've had
and you had
three governors.
Markafi.
And then you did not have this crisis. This crisis is a different crisis. This crisis is Fulani headsmen killing Southern Kaduna Christians because they feel that they are in power. They feel that the governor supports them.
So Reno, sorry to interrupt, Reno, but it's a convoluted issue. So when I speak even to Southern Kaduna leaders, people like Elafia Obadia, who was a former presidential candidate, they point out a number of issues which have been brought into this. They bring up the issue also too of the things that happened in the past where the white paper report on these things were never implemented. So they say that the bias has been towards them because if they were serious for a long-term solution to these problems, then all the administrations would have made sure that the reports that were put in place, the actions were followed through, but it was never followed through. So they've brought in all of these issues about the politics and everything together with the militias that are operating in southern Kaduna. So that's the point I was trying to make.
That's not true, because I was a presidential spokesman, so I'm privy to those white papers. One of the things that the white paper said is that so that this crisis will not occur, there should be balance in Kaduna State. And when they're talking about balance, they say like the governor should be either a Christian or a Muslim, and then the deputy governor must be from the other side.
Good.
Now, we had that in 1999 to 2007 when you had the former governor there.
Right.
You also had that from 2007 to 2015 when you had a Christian governor, and then you also had Ramadan Yero.
Right.
Now, this is the first time in the history of Kaduna as a civilian government where you have Nasir El-Rufai as a Fulani Muslim and then the deputy governor as a Muslim.
Right.
It goes against the white paper, and these are deliberate actions taken by Malam Nasir El-Rufai.
Right.
You've never had that before, whereby the governor is a Muslim and the deputy governor is a Muslim.
Right.
So these are the things. What I'm saying is that it is a leadership issue. Because one of the things that you see in that white paper which you mentioned is that it must be balanced. Now, even in Nigeria as a whole, is there balance? If you look at the leadership structure, in Nigeria right now, the head of the executive, Northern Muslim, the head of the judiciary, Justice Tanko, Northern Muslim, the head of the legislature, Ahmed Lawan, Northern Muslim, the Minister of Defense, Northern Muslim, the Chief of Army Staff, Northern Muslim, the head of the DMI, head of the DSS, head of the NIA, head of the NPS, head of the EFCC, head of the SS. Let me finish, please. And then head of the NIS. All these people are not. So where is the balance?
Absolutely.
If you have a boat, and then you have all the people on one side of the boat and very few on the other side of the boat, that boat is going to sink, and that is why Nigeria is
that's the point. That's the point we're making here, Reno, about the idea of balance. So the people of southern Kaduna feel there is no balance in the system. They feel they're discriminated against. They feel they're marginalized in the way the issues have played out. But the point is still going to fall back on the politicians, which you've mentioned, like Nasir El-Rufai, in the sending of mixed messages. But let's put the politicians aside and then now focus on the security agencies. It is abnormal, we agree, that you have the military stepping into civilian situations, try to resolve. But the nature of the attacks, because of the sophisticated weapons and the way these attacks have happened, has meant we brought in the military to help end the killings. But so far it hasn't happened. With this administration, with previous administrations, they've said they're always too late in arriving at the place at the right time. What are your thoughts in terms of the military option in resolving the crisis in southern Kaduna?
Listen, Joseph Goebbels, he said that if a terrorist crisis lasts for more than 24 hours, the government is involved. And you can Google that quote. But he said, if a terrorist crisis lasts for more than 24 hours, the government is involved.
But then who's Goebbels? Who's Goebbels again?
Goebbels was the propaganda minister under Hitler.
Which is why I said, can you trust something that comes from Goebbels?
Well, no, because in this own case, he was saying this into his own disadvantage. Right. So now, if you look at it now, because Goebbels' quote has been quoted also by U.S. presidents and by other world leaders. This particular quote. Yeah. So I'll give you a very good example now. The Southern Kaduna people, obviously, they have no arms. Now, you say you have the military in there. Now, how come these headsmen are coming in with sophisticated arms, AK-47? How come they are able to be deployed and then they go in, they do these attacks, and then it is only when they have left that the military come. And then when the military come, the military they don't arrest the headsmen, they arrest the people who have been aggressed upon, the people who have been attacked. Go to Kaduna, and then a Southern Kaduna leader, they call the association Sokaku, he was on TV. He's saying that the police cells in Kaduna are full of Southern Kaduna youths. So you have to understand is that Sherlock Holmes said this. He said that when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, remains the truth. The truth is that there is a collusion with the governor and the government of Kaduna State in all of this. And we have seen it by the comments, the behavior, the attitude of the current governor of Kaduna State.
Well, collusion more in terms of not being able to achieve what they were set out to do, which is the goal. Let me say something here. The military commander, the JTF, which was sent in there, said, look, we got in there. Intelligence was flawed. It wasn't exactly what we saw when we arrived. This is what we saw. They saw, I don't know why people keep calling them headsmen. They found evidence of militia gangs. And these militia gangs have traversed different ethnic groups. Some are from the Fulani side, and they have a number of them also on the other side, which is also adding to the confusion we're seeing here.
No. You are libeling these people, and I'm here to speak for the truth. You are libeling these people. There are no militia on the other side because there is a curfew, and the military went house to house, seizing even machetes. I'm not talking about guns. These people have no guns. They went house to house. So it's very unfair for you to sit down in Lagos and begin to accuse them.
I am not sitting down in Lagos. I'm telling you what the military have said. I'm telling you what also setting. Now, so I'm telling you. So here's in Reno. I spoke with certain southern Kaduna leaders, and I told them, I said, there are security reports which indicate that there are militia groups within certain southern Kaduna communities which are also carrying reprisal attacks across. And they said this. They said it is not our responsibility to handle those southern militia groups. These are rogue elements. But then they said, you have more attacks on the other side than our side. So for you to say that there are no militia on the other ethnic groups is,
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
Listen, I did in fact. Before I came to talk to you right now, the money that I handed over yesterday, $500,000, who did I hand it over? I handed it over to the chairman of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Kaduna State, Reverend Hayat, and the leader of the Muslims, Sheikh Haliru Maraya. So I am getting information firsthand. What you have to understand is that there are no Christian militias in Kaduna State.
I don't say Christian militia. I say ethnic militia. Now, they're two different things.
But allow me land.
Yes.
If you keep on interjecting, I can't put my points across. What you have there is that when the herdsmen attack them, they have youths. Now, you cannot expect the youths to just sit down and allow themselves to be killed by the herdsmen. So the youths form together, just like you have civilian JTF in Borno State. And then the youths, they try to throw stones against these herdsmen. And that's what's happening. So for you to call this, look, you have to...
So you were saying... So Reno, listen to me, please. No, this is the question I have for you, Reno. You know the civilian JTF, while Goodluck Jonathan, for example, was there. In the northeastern part, there were rogue elements within the system who went attacking and dealing with people. So for you to imagine that you will not have rogue elements, even within these groups, it's a bit far-fetched. So we're saying there are rogue elements there.
You ask questions and you want to answer your questions. If you're talking about, when you use the word rogue elements, people who have no guns, people who have no machetes, because you have to understand, and this I'm quoting the military. The military said they went house to house in southern Kaduna to seize their weapons. You have to understand, the Fulani militia that you're talking about, they don't have houses. They are not from the area. These are people that are from all parts of... One thing you have to understand is that a lot of the Fulanis who are doing these attacks are from Mali. People don't understand that Mali, there are Fulanis in Mali. I'll give you a very good example. The first president of Mali, after they gained independence from France, is a man called Modibo Keita. Now, Modibo Keita was a Fulani. And even in Nigeria, you have Fulanis bearing Modibo, you have Fulanis bearing Keita. So you have a lot of these people from places like Mali, from places like...
even in Gambia. I've got friends from Fula in Senegal and Gambia.
Yeah. So these people, they are coming in, and then they are saying that they want to set up things like Ruga and other things in the area. And if you recall, just 3 days ago, the AFRICOM, that is the United States Africa Command, had given intelligence, which was reported in the media, that it is the mission of these radical Islamic groups not just to overtake and overrun the Northwest, but to also come down south. That's their mission. Now, I'm telling you what the Africa Command of the U.S. said.
I saw the report also too.
Exactly. You understand, this is a systematic thing. Now, I'm not here. If I was here for just Christians, when I was giving out my donation, would I have given out my donation to both Muslims and Christians? Before I gave a donation to Southern Kaduna, you are aware that I gave a donation to Borno State. Are Borno people Christians? I built an orphanage with my money for IDPs from Borno State. Those IDPs, they are Muslims. During the Salah, and you are aware of this, I gave out money to Muslims because there was a lockdown in Nigeria, if you recall, during the Ramadan. So Nigerian Muslims, a lot of them were complaining. I gave out money to Nigerian Muslims. I am colorblind. What I'm seeking is the truth. This man that you have there as a governor, if this man were to have been in America, the man would have been removed and handed over to the International Criminal Court in The Hague because of the comments he has been making. You cannot have a man as governor making those comments that are showing an obvious bias against Christians, an obvious bias against Southern Kaduna people, accusing Christians of being behind Boko Haram, threatening that when he becomes governor that he's going to take revenge. He was on Channel Television, your colleagues on Channel Television, they asked him, what have you done to stop the killings in Southern Kaduna? And his response was that he had given money to the headsmen to beg them that take this money and don't kill again. Does that make sense?
Well, obviously it did not work. But then, Reno, let's take this point to what is going on outside. I see there's an international campaign going on now to draw awareness to what is going on to the several thousands of people, if not millions, in southern Kaduna who've been affected by this orgy of violence. What is going on outside Nigeria?
Well, I mean, I'm behind some of them because, like, that's why you notice I was in the United States and then I just came back. And if you notice, you see that Southern Kaduna issue was on CNN yesterday. And I'm going to keep on traveling. And Nasiru El-Rufai, if you can hear me, you are never going to be able to put an end to Christianity in Nigeria. You are never going to be able to put an end to Christianity in this country. We will fight you and we will fight you.
All right, Reno.
Legal means available. Right. You are not going to be able to do it.
So let's talk about in terms of what is also happening. I hear that before you came back on air, I spoke with Mr. Gidi a while about his motivation for this song that he's put together. I understand you also produced the song on the killings in southern Kaduna. Of course, the ultimate goal of this entire conversation we're having, and several we will have on 99.3 Nigerian, is to see how we can put an end to the killings. You know, one way or the other, little drops of water make a mighty ocean, and then we can then stop the killings and then move on to the next stage, which is to have long-lasting peace in southern Kaduna. So I think it would be great to play Mr. Gidi's song now. And
okay. Well, I thought you were going to allow me play the song. That's why I came with my guitar.
Oh, excellent. Well,
but no, don't worry. Go ahead. Play. Play it. That's why I came with my guitar.
Okay, maybe before we let you go, you play something at the end then.
Okay, the song was co-written by Mr. Gidi and I. I produced it, but it was co-written by Mr. Gidi and I. And the song is available on iTunes, and it's available. There's a competition on my YouTube channel. That's Reno's Masterclass on YouTube. Right. The winner of the competition is going to get 100,000 naira, and Ali Baba, the comedian, is picking the winner. And all the proceeds of the song, Life No Get Balance, is going to the victims of Southern Kaduna massacre.
Right. Okay, so let's hear Mr. Gidi on Southern Kaduna and come back and talk some more with him. I think we can take in some calls later on, but here we go. Here's Mr. Gidi.
Mr. Gidi, Kataya Pragato, Legacy Nation, baby. On man no plan, man no go rim. What a man so was a man do. What you do today, you go see go. What you sow, you go reap, go babe. Man no plan, man no go reap. What a man sow was a man go reap. What you do today, you go see go babe. What you sow, you go reap, go babe. Life no balance. Southern Kaduna, politicians are charlatan. Don't not get good character. Life no balance. Oh, Southern Kaduna. Politicians are charlatan, don't not get good character. Why you they killing innocent people they throw away? That's been killing people in Southern Kaduna. Why you pay killers to kill more people? Under your leadership, killers get impunity. Our government, oh, you are charlatan. You promise to avenge those committing felony. You insult Christ and you want to become president. Political lash, important imp. Hele, 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 papa, hele. want to be president. Now who you want to rule and now who you want to lead. Want to kill us all before you go satisfy. Your son talks a folk room against the boy is sweet. Also say boy men are prostitutes. No respect for your fellow human. Oh. You just talk anyhow. Oh. For social media. Oh. Inside Kaduna life no balance. For Southern Kaduna life in no balance. Can't we get the peace so you been promised us now? Facing off his sleep, facing off his job. Facing got the think of fairness to run to. Facing got the think of fairness to run to. Hele hele, hele papa hele papa hele brother hele brother. They don't kill them papa. Hele hele, hele mama hele mama hele sister hele sister. They don't kill them mama. Hele hele, Reno Omokri hele papa hele brother hele brother. People they kill our papa. Hele mama hele sister. Mr. Gidi, Kataya Brakato, Onemase.
Audio tunes.
All right, there you have Mr. Gidi and Reno Omokri. Interestingly, Reno Omokri and I went to the same secondary school. In fact, same house, same dormitory, but he was years ahead of me, you know. But Reno, you have musical talent, huh?
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Excellent. Great work, Mr. Gidi and
But
Reno
let me
there.
just quickly say, can I quickly say,
Yeah, go ahead.
for your viewers can go on YouTube, Reno's Masterclass. Just go on YouTube, search for Reno's Masterclass, and then you look for the song, Life Will Get Balance, a benefit song for Southern Kaduna. So just comment on that song, and then at 9 p.m. today, Ali Baba, the comedian, the famous comedian, is going to choose one comment, and we are going to pay that person 100,000 naira.
Right.
So when you put your comments on the video,
Right.
include your name and your account details. So go there, include your name and your account details. One person is going to win 100,000 naira, and I'm not choosing the person. Ali Baba is choosing the person, and Ali Baba also went to command, if you recall.
Yeah, he did. He's a big boss. All right. I'm trying to see if we can get in the calls, but I'm not too sure. The device is acting up. But we're about to round up the interview. Those of you on Facebook, on Twitter, I'm sure Reno will respond to all of your comments and questions. And thank you for tuning in on 99.3 Nigeria. But like I said, this is setting the tone for discussions that will happen on Morning Crossfire and the Big Hat Fact throughout this week on the Southern Kaduna crisis. Because I think it's something we really need to pay attention to, because of the lives being lost. It's simply horrendous. And to imagine lessons haven't been learnt in the past and this keeps happening, it's a sign that something is wrong, which is the first stage. Everyone understands, agrees there's a problem, the killings have happened. No one is denying the fact the killings have happened. Curfews have been put in place. Talks are going on. I know you've been in a number of talks, Reno, because of your political background. What do you expect when they sit down at the table? Because every fight, no matter how intense it is, they must sit down at the table and discuss. What do you expect to hear on both sides of the divide? From the Southern Kaduna side, from the security agencies, from the governor, and from everyone involved in this crisis right now?
Well, what I don't expect anything from the governor, because before he became governor and while he's governor, he's made comments and he's taken actions that show his obvious bias. What I expect from the president is to declare a state of emergency in Kaduna State, and then to take over control of Kaduna State from Malam Nasir El-Rufai, and to send in a balanced security force and have have this controlled from Abuja. Because Malam Nasir Rufai, by his statements, you cannot have somebody who has made those kind of statements, and he cannot be balanced, he cannot be impartial. He has already shown favoritism, he's already shown that he's taking one side against the other. So the only way that we can have a solution is for General Muhammadu Buhari, the president, to declare a state of emergency, set the governor aside, and then send in soldiers to ensure that there is balance there, to ensure that the belligerents, the headsmen, that they are arrested. Because you have to understand, what is happening in southern Kaduna today is a deja vu of what happened in Sudan. If you remember, in Sudan, you had the Janjaweed. If you recall, the Janjaweed, they were doing exactly this in Darfur, because the Darfurians in Sudan were Christians. And then the government of Omar al-Bashir was in support of the Janjaweed. So the Janjaweed were going, they were not being arrested, they were going with guns, killing the Christians. And what happened? Sudan divided. Eventually. And so if General Muhammadu Buhari does not want Nigeria to divide because of these killings, then he has to nip them in the bud. Because a lot of people often say that history repeats itself. History does not repeat itself. Men repeat history and blame history for repeating itself.
Okay. So we'll have to leave it at that. In the immediate, Reno wants a state of emergency to declare. But thank you very much, Reno Omokri. Reno Omokri, former spokesperson, Good Luck Jonathan, author, music producer now we've seen, and also public affairs analyst. All right. You wanted to play something for us before we go, or?
No, it's okay. You played the song. I don't want to play anything else. You played my song. That's okay. I'm very grateful. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and God bless you.
All right. Thank you very much, Reno Omokri. All right. And so that's it on this special edition of Pinpoint. And at the end, even though the technology and the Wahala and all of that, but I do hope you did get something from this. And tune into all our programs beginning from next week, where we will have a look at the Southern Kaduna crisis in detail. We have an array of guests that will help expand your knowledge and perhaps move us to action on what to do, first and foremost, to end the killings, and then second of all, to ensure we have lasting peace in Southern Kaduna, because every life matters. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Up next is Music and Moments with Sammy and Ifai. I'm Aghogho Oboh. Catch me on all my social media handles at Aghogho Oboh. Bye-bye.